Java servlets, this topic. I mentioned in the notes, I mentioned there are two different ways. But here I want to show you how to do in these two ways. All right. The first way, we call it explicit servlet configuration. Explicit and implicit. Explicit, you can see the configuration details. Explicit. All right, let's see what kind of detail. All right, one example. For example, let us just use the hello world servlet, that one. All right, if we want to configure that hello servlet, what do we need to do? First, in this file, web.xml file, DD, remember last time we have a notation or symbol for it called DD. What's that DD? Deployment descriptor, right? Deployment descriptor, DD. All right, so we configure it in this DD file, web.xml. All right, so what is the content of it? There are two XML elements. Now here, I assume you have a XML basic knowledge background. Here, this is our first XML element, servlet element. Okay, it's called servlet element. All right, inside the servlet element, you need to configure or specify servlet name, servlet dash name. All right, the element name. All right, yeah. Hello servlet. Hello servlet. By default, we know, as I mentioned before, by default, the servlet name is our servlet class name. Okay. If you have some good reason, you can change, but usually we do not change. We just use the default name. Okay. All right. Then servlet class, servlet dash class, then you specify full path servlet, the package, including the package, all right, including the package and class name. Yeah. All right, that's the servlet configuration. So here you can see the servlet name is connected with servlet class through this element. Yeah. But not done yet. This is just the first half. You have the second half. All right, yeah. Here, before I go to the second, here I also want to mention this element, servlet element, create a servlet instance. Last time I talked about this instance, I said in one Java web application, we only need one servlet instance most of the time, all right? And this single instance can provide services for many concurrent users through multi-threading. All right, yeah. But there is some very rare special situation. We may need more than one servlet instance, more than one, under some special situation. All right. Yeah, actually, I tried to show you that special, although it's rare. It's very rare in your real world situation, but it's quite interesting. So I try to make a story. So right now, I try to make a story. Yeah, because in order to describe it, I try to describe some story that makes sense. Yeah, so after I make a good story, I will show you that case. All right, yeah. All right. The second half, it's called servlet dash mapping element, another XML element. This one is for servlet URL mapping configuration. All right. Then you can see in this one, we need to first, we need to bring up that servlet name Again, why? Because the servlet name is the identification of the servlet. ID, unique, okay? The servlet name is unique. For one Java web application, that instance, here I'm talking about that instance, okay? That instance, the servlet name must be unique. We want to use the name to identify that servlet instance. Here I said servlet instance, okay? Because if I have second server instance, I need to give a different name, right? Different name, okay? Yeah, unique. Yeah. All right. Then URL dash pattern. So we specify our URL pattern for this servlet. Yeah. Slash lowercase hello. That's the one I put in our hello servlet. Yeah, I changed this one in Eclipse. Yeah, if you still remember that detail. Yeah. All right. Then after these two elements, we complete the implicit server configuration. Implicit. Oh, sorry, explicit, not implicit. Yeah. Implicit we cannot see, right? Yeah. So here we see explicit first. Implicit second, because implicit, when you have the background, when you have this picture in your mind, when I talk about implicit, that you can connect to explicit. That should be the final destination way of the server configuration. All right. Yeah. But implicit, there is a translation step, right? Translation step. We do not see the translation step. It will be there. It will be there. All right. Yeah. So here, the first configuration way, and this way, we treat it as the old way. Yeah. Old way. Yeah. Because at the early time of this technology, Java EE technology, early time, only this way. All right. This is the only way people can use. Only way. All right. Yeah. Implicit way was, later added new way, relatively new way. Yeah. So let's look at the, yeah. All right. Here. Yeah. All right. So mapping logical name. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And map multiple URLs to one server. Yeah. Before we go to the implicit, let me look at this topic. Last time I mentioned one server instance. We can map it to multiple URLs. Here, let us take a look in our explicit configuration. How do we do this kind of multiple URL configuration? All right. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's the example. Look at this element. Look at this element. The main difference, if you compare with the previous servlet dash mapping element, you can see URL pattern, we can specify multiple URL patterns. All right. Oh, all right. Yeah, yeah. Let me say a few more words before I finish this slide. Last time I explained a little bit, yeah, but I feel probably some of you may not pay. Yeah, this annoying thing again. So I need to power off. All right, yeah, power off. Yeah. I should power off my cell phone. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let me just repeat another time, not too long. Yeah. What's the reason people need to configure multiple URLs for one server instance? The reason based on the business requirements. Yeah. Because we develop a Java web application for some special business. In the business, you consider using different URLs for different business purposes, right? Each URL corresponds to some specific business purpose. Yeah. All right. That purpose thing, not necessarily one-to-one corresponds to servlet, right? Yeah. So one servlet could provide services for multiple things. Think about that, multiple things. If you have that situation, then you do this kind of mapping, okay? Based on your business needs, all right? Yep, you have this kind of flexibility. Yeah. So you may wonder at the server side, how do I know which URL pattern connects to the servlet, right? You may wonder that. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. Later, we have many different ways to provide the next level details. Which URL pattern, you know, invokes the server. All right. Yeah. We can use HTTP parameters. Think about that. HTTP parameters, right? We can also use another higher level thing, session parameters. Session parameters. We have many other ways we can address that kind of details. So don't worry. Yeah. All right. All right, let's move to the next step. Annotation type configuration. This type available about 10 years. Yeah, at least 10 years. Okay, yeah, more than 10 years. Yeah, but relatively new comparing with that old way more than 20 years, right? Old way more than 20 years. So this new way approximately a little more than 10 years. Annotation type configuration. All right. This way, very convenient. Yeah. So look at in our hello servlet, you can see this line at symbol, the annotation, the name, web servlet. Yeah. Case sensitive, okay? Case sensitive, web servlet. Parentheses, double quotes, that is our URL pattern. Here, inside the servlet definition, you provide URL pattern in this one line, just one line. All right, servlet name, you do nothing. You can use the default way, right? Because default way is the servlet class name, hello servlet class name. We just use that. So we do not need to do anything. If you want to use a non-default way, then there is a chance. Yeah, later we will see you have a chance to do the non-default way. Yeah, but most people use the non-default way. So here you can see that's all we need to do for our hello servlet. This is just one line. Comparing with our explicit way, two XML elements, right? Two XML elements. Yeah. Although you can use the copy paste way, all right? Yeah. But you can see this way, annotation way, much easier, much easier than the old way. All right. Yeah. And here I give you another case. If you want to specify multiple URL patterns, yeah, multiple URL patterns, then you provide comma separated string. Yeah, so here you can see name value pair. Look at that. Name equals double quotes hello servlet. Yeah. This time you change the default servlet name, right? Look at here. Name corresponds to servlet name. Servlet name this time, I do not use the default. I use this one, lowercase hello, all right? If capital H, if we use the capital H, that's the default. Default one, you're gonna need to specify, all right? But here we want to change it. So I change it intentionally, I change it to the lowercase. Lower H, hello servlet. Then your pattern, I can provide more than one, 3 here, right? So here you can see, if you want to do the same thing as we did in expressive way, we can do in here, here, all right? Otherwise, if we want to do the simplest way, just one line, that's it. 90-something%, 90-something% cases, people use just a one-line configuration. That's enough. That's the reason after this annotation type configuration was created, Java programmers, web developers, programmers, they like this way a lot. Yeah. Almost not many, recently, not many Java programmers use that explicit configuration. Okay, yeah, yeah. So popular, explicit configuration, yeah. But some people, I don't know if there are some of you here, you may ask this kind of question. If the new way is much simpler than the old way, can we eliminate the old way? I don't know if any of you may have a question like this. The question is no, you cannot eliminate. If you eliminate, there are several special things, annotation we cannot do, but the old XML way can do. Annotation way cannot do it. You have no way you can do it. But web the XML way, it can do it. For example, multiple instance, think about that, right? Multiple instance, okay, think about that. That's just example. There are several other things. So you cannot eliminate it. You still keep there, yeah. Yeah, although it's rare to use those special situation, yeah, but you need it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hope later when we learn more, when we learn more knowledge for Servlet JSP, at some point, I'd like to compare these two different ways. Yeah. All right, yeah, so we finish this topic. Yeah, here, default servlet name, yeah, so we know, I talk about that, all right. Yeah, let me see if this is the last. Oh, yeah, that's the end of this small topic. Yeah. Let me switch to our new topic today. Yeah. Introduction to Java JSP. Yeah. B.1, basics of Java JSP. We use at this point, we did 2 Java JSP simple examples. The first one, hello world, still. The second one, dynamic. Remember, today's date, time date. That one, dynamic, JSP. Yeah. So here, I like to give you the basics of Java JSP. Yeah. First, why Jsp technology is needed. Yeah. Here, I need to go back to the history a little bit. Early time of Java Servlet JSP technology. Early time, how early it is. Yeah. First, we need to recall the Java history a little bit. What was the approximate creation time for Java first? All right. 1995, approximate time that Java was created. Okay, that may not be exact, but pretty close. 1995. Okay, people can argue, but yeah, pretty much there. Then that is the core Java. Yeah, when Java was created, that's the, not a web Java, core Java, desktop Java. All right. The web Java was created, web Java, that's the server technology, was created approximately 1998. A few years after Java was created, 1998 at that time. All right. Then JSP was created a few years after it. Yeah, not too long, 2 or 3 years after Servlet was created. Yeah. Here, let me talk about what's the reason JSP technology was created. There is some strong reason behind it. Yeah. All right, look at here. JSP simplify the delivery of dynamic web content. That's the main reason. Simplify delivery dynamic web content. Why and how? Right? You like to ask this kind of questions. So without JSP, to produce HTML content in Java, here, people can still produce HTML content in Java, dynamic content in Java. All right. A servlet needs to use this println. Println, yeah, this method, all right, to output strings containing many HTML tags. All right. Here, I didn't show you that example. Yes, here I didn't show you. Yeah. But later we will see, see example. How do we generate HTML content from Servlet? How do we generate HTML content from Servlet? First, we need an output stream object. Output, we know, stream object. Okay, inside Servlet, we need to create an output stream object. Then, using that stream object, we call println method, parenthesis, double quotes. Inside the parenthesis, double quotes, you put HTML content inside. That's the way. Think about that. Yeah. Later, quickly, I will show you a simple example of that. Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. Here, just imagine a little bit. All right. All right. So let me write a little more specifics for you. Yeah. Out. Let us call this out is the output stream object. Okay. The reference of the output stream object. Out dot println parenthesis, double quotes. There, our HTML content. How about that? This way. All right. Yeah. Println. Yeah. So in your server, you can put many lines like this. Whenever you want to generate some HTML content, we'll do this way. Right? Yeah. Because the reason I show you here, later we will do comparison. This is not a good way. Yeah. This way would cause a lot of problems. So we will see a lot of problems. People are not happy with this way. All right. The biggest problem is at the static content, dynamic content, static content. Yeah. If we look at the JSP content, so there are two parts: static content and the dynamic content. All right. Yes. And the static content, fixed HTML content. It never changes. Dynamic, based on different users, different time, different situations. What you see, that part would be different. All right, yeah, static, dynamic, yeah. And in Java, for the dynamic content, yeah, we have powerful way to do that. We know Java very powerful way we can do the dynamic part, right? But static part, think about the static part. The static part, think about the double quotes way, right? Yeah, here we need to go back to that double quotes way. If we want to do it in the servlet, we need to use the double quotes way, right? You can see how hard it is. All right, here, I just put a question here because we will do some more comparison later. Yeah. All right. Example, here I want to use this double quotes confusion problem. Double quotes confusion. What's the meaning of double quotes? Yeah, you have experience using double quotes in programming languages, right? Yeah, here. What's the meaning of double quotes? All right. Yeah. Here I point out the two different meanings. Yeah. The first one, the double quotes are used to mark Java string literals, right? When you define a Java string literal, you use double quotes, right? Inside your string literal content. Yeah. That's one way to use double quotes. But in HTML, you need to use a lot of double quotes, right? HTML, you need to use a lot of double quotes. How do we use double quotes in HTML? Okay, used to mark HTML attribute values, right? Attribute values, attribute. href attribute, look at that. There is example, href attribute. Yeah, because in that A tag, look at this, A tag, yeah, no comma, all right, space, href, that's the attribute name, right? What is the attribute value? In our hello world, hello, look at this case. We use double quotes to mark attribute value, right? You can see in these two cases, double quotes are used for different meanings, two different meanings. Then think about in our println, we use double quotes for two different meanings, right? One case for Java meaning string literals, another case for HTML, href values. Look at that. How can you avoid confusion? How can you avoid confusion, right? Yeah. People use, to avoid the confusion, people use backslash as the escape symbol, all right? For HTML double quotes, escape. For Java double quotes, no escape. Yeah, Java, because servlet, that is Java environment, right? We use double quotes in Java environment. We should keep the same meaning. Yeah. So without escape symbol, backslash, that's the string literal double quotes. But if you want to specify HTML attribute values, you need to use backslash double quotes. How about that? Backslash double quote. That's HTML double quote. All right. Think about. Do you like this way to produce HTML content in Servlet, especially for big block of HTML content? Think about it. Big block of HTML content. Yeah. Question.
Do you use the escape for both sides of the code, or just the first one?
Both sides. Yeah. Everywhere. Right. Double quotes opening, closing, everywhere where it appears, backslash. Everywhere where it appears, backslash. Even it appears single time, backslash. Okay? Single time, backslash. All right. We know we expect, twice as a pair. Well, how do you know it? Right? How do you know it? Yeah. Every time it appears, backslash. All right. Yeah. Then here, look at the static content. If we want to produce static content inside Servlet, especially relatively big block of content, big block of text, think about that. All right. Big block of text, you have many HTML tags. Look at how many places you need to use backslash. Tedious work, right? That's the tedious work. But HTML content, the nice way is do nothing on it, right? Static content. Why you do so much work on static content? Static is supposed to do nothing, right? Static content, there is no Java coding for it. Suppose for Java programmers, you should do nothing, but you do a lot of, backslash tedious work and error prone, right? Especially Java programmers do not like it. Yeah. They complain a lot. Yeah. Complain a lot. Yeah. That's the reason after 2 or 3 years, this Jsp technology must be created. Otherwise, people hate this technology. Okay. Yeah. But after Jsp technology was created, then Java programs were really happy about it. Static content, do nothing. Large block of HTML content, keep there. Okay. Only do the dynamic part using Jsp technology. Not Servlet. Servlet, you have your own work to do, data processing, large amount of data processing. Then in Servlet, Java coding, that's the way you use the Servlet. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good solution. Yes. Now, after this discussion, let us look at a good solution. Yeah. Keep the static content unchanged. Not error prone, more efficient. Yeah. Save you a lot of time, right? Yeah. Unchanged. Yeah. Yeah. Because when you do that kind of backslash, sometimes you may miss one or two, right? You may miss one. You may feel too tired. Yeah. You already work many hours. You feel very tired. You may miss one or two, then the program breaks. Okay. Yeah. Because the compiler will treat it as Java double quote, not HTML double quote. So, the compiler cannot recognize, how to do the compilation. Yeah. Breaks. All right. Yeah. Keep the static content unchanged. Much better. Ideal solution. All right. Next, embed Java code for dynamic content. Only when you need to do the dynamic content, you embed Java code. Otherwise, leave the content there. Yeah. All right. And here, the way to embed Java code, that tag, pair of arrow bracket, but combined with percent sign, arrow bracket. That special tag. All right. PHP way. I think you know PHP way, right? If we recall PHP way, arrow bracket, question mark, right? PHP, that's the opening tag, closing question mark. That closing arrow bracket. All right. Yeah. So PHP, yeah, similar to PHP one. All right, yeah. Java one. Okay, yeah. All right. Remember in our dynamic JSP example, I put this expression dynamic for the dynamic date display. I put this expression, okay? And here you can see, although we have that arrow bracket %, but there is an extra equal sign, okay? Extra equal sign after the % sign, opening tag, % sign, the meaning is different. The meaning is different, all right? Because if you see the equal sign, that means what you see is a JSP expression. Okay, JSP expression. All right. All right, yeah. JSP expression, yeah. Later, I will explain JSP expression. It's a special expression. There are many rules for it. We will learn the specific rules for JSP expression. Oh, there are several JSP elements. We will learn just expression is one of them. JSP elements. Okay, yeah, all right. All right, that derived from Servlet technology. So here you can see JSP was created on top of Servlet technology, not start from scratch. No, not start from scratch. No, because that's not an efficient way. No. So an easy way JSP was created on top of Servlet technology. Yeah. So this property is important. Yeah. Because later in our discussion, if you know this property, then you can understand better. Because there is one step. Each JSP must be converted to a servlet before it can be used. Okay, there is a conversion step. JSP to servlet conversion step. It is hidden. You cannot see it. Nobody can see it. All right. Nobody can see it. But it is there, conversion step there. Yeah. Because it is built on top of the server technology. So what do you see? What do we work at just as an interface? All right, interface. We're working on a user-friendly interface. After we make those JSP files, before they can be used in your web applications, there are translation step, compilation step. I will talk about that later. Translation, compilation, 2 steps before they can be used. Yeah, we will get there soon. Yeah, all right. Okay, all right. Yeah, so no need here, no need to start from scratch. Yeah, Servlet technology was so good, it is there, so powerful. Why people create another brand new technology, right? Not necessary. Okay, yeah. All right. Basic facts about JSP. Yeah. First, JSP, yeah, the full name of JSP, Java Server Pages. Yeah, I haven't mentioned the full name. Yeah. People always call JSP, but the full name, Java Server Pages, yeah, is an extension of server technology. Extension, okay, yeah. And a JSP container, yeah, here the term container, yeah, I will explain this container a little bit. JSP container is the part of the web server that can run Java JSP web components. In this sentence, there are 2 concepts I need to explain. The first one is container. The second one is the web components. These 2 concepts. First, for the container, let me explain. Yeah. Short way to explain, a programming environment for a particular technology. It's a programming environment, container. Yeah, you can imagine it's a container. It holds something, right? But holds specific technology. A special technology is running inside this, small environment. Okay, container. Yeah. So when we talk about here, right? Yeah, that's the container. Yeah, and Java Web Components. Yeah, servlet components. Yeah. So these software components, we know software components, right? These software components must be running in web environment. So then we call the web components. Okay, servlet components. We know servlet must be running in web environment, right? Yeah, web server, Java web server. You need a Java web server to run servlets. Without Java web server, you cannot run servlets, right? So web component, servlet web components. Yeah. All right. JSP also rely on web environment, right? Java web server environment. Okay. So JSP also Java web components. Okay. Yeah. And the third type called the Java web service components. Java web service. Okay. Yeah. Another advanced technology also built on top of servlets. You can see almost all other Java web technology all built on servlet technology. Yeah. So that's servlet technology, really the foundation of all other Java web technologies. Yeah. Yeah. At a certain point, I will give you some introduction about Java web services. Yeah. In our second half. Okay. After our midterm, second half, I will talk about this concept, Java web services. All right. Okay. But there is another one, Java beans. You may hear of this Java beans. Java beans do not belong to web components. Yeah. Java beans, they are software components. Java beans are software components. Yeah, no problem. But they are not Java web components. Okay. Why? Because we can use Java beans in our desktop applications, right? We do not rely, Java beans do not rely on web environment. Okay. Yeah. Desktop environment, we can use Java beans. Okay. So that's why we do not call Java beans, although we use many Java beans in our Java web applications, but we do not call Java beans web components. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Then container. Yeah, I just go back to talk about container. A Java web container. Yeah. Java web container. People call that. You can implement basic Java web technologies. Here I said the basic Java web technology. I emphasize basic, not advanced. If for advanced Java web technologies, we need a more advanced container. Not a Java web container. We need another container advanced called application server. Application server, yeah, that kind of container for more advanced Java web technologies. Yeah. All right. And then inside the Java web container, we have a smaller container, servlet container. All right. Yeah. Smaller software program running environment. All right. Yeah. For servlet. Yeah. Servlet. Then JSP, another different container. Okay. Another different container. Yeah. Yeah. The reason I talk about this container, because later you will see when you add more Java web technologies into the platform. Yeah. Java EE is a platform. You can add more and more Java technologies, web technology into that platform. When you add a new technology, you add a new container. That technology needs a running environment container, okay? Spring container, all right, right? Spring container, struts container, right? So many other different technologies, when you plug into the platform, yeah, they need their own containers to manage all the programming requirements. Okay, yeah. So that's the container concept. Yeah. All right. Next, JSP source files use .jsp extension. Yeah. .jsp extension. Yeah. That's very natural, just like PHP use that .php extension. Because when you use .jsp extension, the Java web server will translate this file into a servlet file, internal hidden server. If you do not use the .jsp extension, the Java server won't do the translation, won't do the conversion and the compilation. So they use this extension to find all your JSP files and do a lot of later processing. Yeah. All right. JSP files are physical files, could be accessed by clients. Physical files. Yeah. I mentioned the physical files. Then we can use any JSP file for welcome file, right? Welcome file. Okay. Yeah. Servlet different. All right. Servlet, the physical file is there, but nobody is allowed to access it from outside. From outside, not inside. Yeah. Inside, outside, inside. Yeah. Outside as the users. Outside users. Yeah. Inside. Yeah. Inside, definitely we have many ways to access from it. All right. Okay, all right, yeah. All right. More JSP properties. JSP are derived from HTML, XHTML, X, yeah. More special requirements based on XML, okay? XHTML, by embedding JSP scriblets. Here, you see the term scriblets. Yeah, the scriblets. When we use the pair of the JSP tags like this, okay, we call a scriblet. All right, yeah. Each element like this corresponds to one JSP scriblet. Okay, yeah. And we create a small Java environment so we can put a Java code inside this pair of tags. All right, yeah. So JSP use scriblets to embed Java code between the tags to add dynamic content to an HTML file. Yeah. Inside HTML file, then you add dynamic content in this way through scriblets. Okay, scriblets. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But scriblets just one way. We have a few other ways. Okay. Other than scriblets way, we have a few other ways we will learn. Okay. Yeah. All right. A JSP file is compiled by the Java server automatically. Look at that. You do not need to do anything automatically. Okay. Yeah. We, as Java programmers, we do not compile JSP file by ourselves. All right. Just leave Tomcat, Java server. Tomcat will do the compilation for you. Yeah. But the reason you can understand this compilation step because JSP will be translated to a Java servlet first. Then you have a Java servlet. Then that Java servlet must be compiled. Yeah. All right. Before a JSP file is compiled, it is translated into a servlet file. Yes. Now, the translation step. The translation file, then a special servlet file corresponds to that JSP will be created somewhere in the server. Okay. It must be created. A physical servlet file is created in some hidden location. Hidden. Usually the Java programmers do not know that location. In a hidden location, somewhere inside the server. Okay? And the servlet file then gets compiled by the Java server. Right? Yeah. All right. But that hidden location here in Tomcat, we can find that hidden location. Okay? Where is the hidden location in Tomcat? Here. Yeah. Tomcat puts all translated and compiled JSPs for the application in this special directory. Your Tomcat installation directory, I use the square bracket, yeah, Tomcat, /work. There is a work directory inside Tomcat home directory. Yeah. Inside that, Catalina, there is a Catalina directory. All right. Inside that, there is a localhost directory. All right. Because Tomcat tries to hide. Yeah. Do not like you to see it. All right. Try to hide a little bit. Yeah. Not completely hide. Hide from most Java programmers. 90-something% Java programmers. You do not need to look at those files. Yeah. All right. Then inside localhost, your project folder, your project name, your project folder. There you can find those translated, compiled servlet files. Okay, yeah. If you really want to see, yeah, you can go there, find, open up, and read and study. All right. But usually, you know, people do not bother to look at those files. We don't need. Why we need it? Those files, right? Yeah. All right. Then, all right. Yeah. Then, what is the time a JSP gets compiled? You may like to know that, right? What is the time a JSP gets compiled? Here, I tell you the time. Yeah. This time. In some web containers, such as Tomcat, yeah, not all, some, yeah, the JSP is translated and compiled just in time. You see this phrase, just in time. Just in time. JIT, just in time. So what's that just in time? When the first request to that JSP arrives, all right, when a user, the first user calls, access that JSP, the first user, all right, the first user accesses that particular JSP, then it gets translated first, compiled next, then provides the service after that. Think about that, those steps. So you can see that user needs to wait a few seconds. How long do you need to complete those steps? Translation step takes time. Compilation step takes time, right? Then provide a service. Okay? Because if I give you this fact, because later you will see the first time when you call a servlet, oh, not servlet, a JSP, you can notice some significant waiting time. Yeah, usually 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah, 2 or 3, that's quite long, right? For the usual response time in our programming environment, right? 2 or 3 seconds, quite long. But your servlet, you can notice that difference. The second time, you won't wait. You get a response immediately. The second time, already translated, already compiled, right? You do not need, you bypass translation, compilation stages, 2 stages. You just get a service immediately. Yeah, that difference you can see quite significant. That difference. Yeah. All right. Next, I want to run that Duke example in Eclipse. Duke, remember, I run that Duke example in Tomcat environment, right? Yeah. So I want to show you for the production deployment to how to deploy a Java web application in the production environment. So I show you that, use that Duke example, all right? But here, development, yeah. For us, for this class, we work on the development environment. Yeah. So then I show you this Duke example another time using the remaining less than 10 minutes, about 8 minutes. Yeah. Then, because it's pretty simple, yeah, I like to show you so you can play around yourself. Yeah. All right. Before I do that, let me just go over 3 basic steps. Pretty easy, 3 basic steps. The first step, create a dynamic web project called a Duke in Eclipse EE. All right, yeah. No need to generate web.xml file. Yeah. No need. All right. Yeah. We use the default way. We do not need web.xml file. All right. Then copy the 3 files in Duke folder into the web app node by drag and drop. Okay. Yeah. And here, I upload a new Duke file. Here, I call it Duke1.zip. Okay. You just go to Module2.PartB to download Duke1.zip. And then you unzip it. Yeah. This Duke1 version is slightly different from our previous Duke version. In the previous Duke version, we have that web.xml. Okay. We have that web-inf folder and web.xml. This one, I remove that web-inf and web.xml. I remove that. Yeah. Because in Eclipse, we do not need, we use the automatically generated default file. So we do not need that. Okay. Yeah. So the version is slightly different. Now let me show you. Yeah, because we do not have much time. So let me file new dynamic web project. All right. This time, yeah, because this is my first Duke, I just call Duke. All right. Okay. Everything by default, I do not need to change. So I just click finish. All right. Then this Duke node was created, the project node, then find our web app node. Yeah, this one, web app node. Look at that. That's our destination node. And copy paste. Here we have 3 Duke files, 1 image file and 2 JSP file. Right? Yeah. Drag and drop 3. Drop to the right node, web app node. Look at this web app node, not to the wrong node. Copy files. All right, that's it. All right, yeah, JSP. We can look at the content, but just run it. Yeah, we can study the content later. Yeah, later when we have more time, we study the content. Yeah, this Duke example. Let's right-click, run the project. Run as on server. Yeah, we need to select our server node. All right. Yeah. Next, but we can click finish. All right. Yeah. Yeah, you see, did you notice 2 seconds delay? 2 seconds delay. As I mentioned, the first time we access it, translate it, compile, then 2 seconds delay. But the second time, yeah, if I go to a different page, then I come back, second time now, no such delay. All right, but here, let me just type, yeah, in order to see if it works, this time I type JSP. How about that? Our topic is JSP today, so let me type JSP. Yeah, it works. Okay, yeah, but here we run it inside our Eclipse EE, not Tomcat directory. Yeah, indirectly. We can call indirectly. All right. Yeah, yeah. So you can, when you go back, you can try this one in your Eclipse. Okay, yeah. Use the Duke1.zip under the module 2 part B. Yeah, download there. Yeah, you can try that. Yeah. All right, that's it. That's everything we need today. Yeah. So I will process the video and post it. All right.